Welcome to the Once Upon an Island podcast, number 2 on the charts, number 1 in your hearts. I'm your host, Wesley. Of course, I am joined by my cheerful co-host,
Rebekah.
And today we're talking about Survivor 49, episode 3. Man, did they ever deliver on Next Time in Survivor when they teased that Jake got bitten by a snake, and then all week on the TV ads, they promoted there's a medical evacuation. I'm like, well, thanks for spoiling the show, Survivor.
I will say, though, I think maybe the most accurate Next Time on Survivor that we've ever got.
For real.
Like the least manipulative, like to the extent that last week I was like, I don't know, like this is usually pretty manipulative. So maybe this didn't actually happen, but well, here we are. So yeah.
Yeah. My only knock on that is I wish Next Time on Survivor hadn't told us anything about this. And then we could have been like, who's getting medically evacuated? But like, because the moment I saw the TV ad, I'm like, oh, Jake does get medically evacuated. Kind of ruins the surprise.
I almost feel like, I wonder if they felt like they had to play it up so much because he underreacted to this so much. Like when he's sitting on the beach and he's like, oh, hey guys, I just got bit by that snake. Like his demeanor was so calm. And to be fair, like, I don't know what was going on in his head. Maybe he was just like trying to be outwardly calm because he's, you know, on Survivor and like being filmed and everything. So like maybe he was just trying to like play it cool. But I was like, man, if I had gotten bit by a snake, I would have been much louder, like yelling like, hey guys, I need medical attention immediately.
It seemed like he didn't feel it. Like it happened, but he apparently, I mean, as it turned out, the snake did not sink any venom into him. And man, I'm glad I saw this after I went to Fiji, because had I seen this before I went to Fiji, I'd have been like overly cautious about going in the ocean. Because Mary and I went out, swam in the ocean, everything when we were there. I would have been super. So I'm glad I saw this after, because apparently, as Jeff said, they've been there 10 years now, and they don't even have a crew member who knows somebody who got bitten by one of these. So for Jake to get a dry bite, it's just like a warning of like, hey, leave my area. So that was good that it was a dry bite in that sense. Obviously, like we didn't want him to die. Could you imagine? Let's say not that Jake dies, but let's say, like I said last week, I'm like, they did all this setting up, like Jake's having a kid next week and everything, and then he dies.
Dude,
like imagine the update was Jake passed away, you know, and then his son was born. Like, is that not the beginning of an origin story, like Batman or something, or a villain origin? I don't know if it's a villain origin story.
Like his kid gets born with superpowers or something somehow.
His kid gets born and he grows up hating snakes for what they did to his dad. And one day he becomes the snake hunter and he has like his own show online or TV or whatever. Is popular in 20 years. And he's just like, he's named after Jake. So he's Jake Jr. He's Jake Jr., the snake hunter. Jake the snake, Jake the snake hunter. And he's out there just hunting snakes. He's like, this one's for dad. Just goes to Fiji murdering all these venomous snakes. Thankfully, it's not what happened. Thankfully, he does have a father. And if you go on his Instagram, he does post photos with his son. So I'm glad that person last week told me that Jake was alive, which was good. I wasn't like thinking he died anyways. I feel like that would have been big news had somebody actually died on Survivor. Like that would have come out well before.
I think I was glad that they included even in the show that like he made it back in time for the birth of his son, as long as I was reading that correctly.
I think that's what it said.
Obviously, it's a very scary situation, but I feel like everything kind of worked out well for Jake. And I don't know if he would feel the same way, but like just from the perspective of he was able to be on Survivor for the last season, you know, probably that his dad's going to get to watch, but also he was able to get back home in time for the birth of his son. So, I mean, yeah, obviously, like, of course, I'm sure he was very disappointed. He even said that on the show, like he was there to win. So that's still a very tough pill to swallow, but hopefully he feels okay with it, because it does seem like he got a lot of positives out of it, despite the negative of, you know, having to leave the show. So, yeah, I hope that it seems like everything went well. So happy for him, I guess, on that end. But yeah, you never want to see anyone medically evacuated. It's always like not the way you want to go.
Definitely not. And I just wanted to lead off. Let's talk about this first, because obviously it's the biggest thing that happened in this episode. And we'll talk about the rest of the episode in chronological order. But I will say that Mary and I'm instantly like, oh, they're taking back to Mana Island. And that's where Mary and I spent a week this past summer. So I was like, instantly, I'm like, okay, where on Mana Island are they? Mary's like, they're going to take him there. I'm like, where else are they going to take him, Mary? As as people who have listened to our podcast know, the one that we did our Ultimate Guide to Survivor Fiji, like, remember, Jeff doesn't leave Mana Island for anything. Unless the medical evacuation on the beach. Notice how Jeff didn't even go to the camp. Not that he needed to, by the way. He needed to get Jake out of there. It wasn't a Jeff going there. No. Jeff doesn't leave Mon Island for nothing. You need to get medically evacuated, and Jeff needs to be there for that. So they brought him back to Mon Island, and Mary and I recognized that area, that medical hut they were in, is right by the kids' daycare on the island. Because while you're at the resort, you can dump your kids off on the locals, so you can go enjoy time without your kids on Mon Island. That is the thing there. I think it does cost money, obviously, on top of your resort, whatever. But so that was right next to it. And I was like, shoot, dude. I was like, we were there. Not in that hut necessarily, but we walked right past that. So that was kind of cool. For if anyone else has been there, you'll probably recognize once they did the little outside shot they showed of it. You'll know where that's at, 'cause it's right in the middle of the resort. Nice. So they brought Jake back to the resort. Jeff's like, he had to take a golf cart over there. That from Jeff's house, I will say, is a 4 to 5 minute golf cart ride. So not as short as going to Tribal. Tribal is much closer to Jeff's hut or Jeff's house than.
Jeff's really taking this seriously then.
Yeah, he had to take a 5 minute golf cart ride. And he was dressed. I mean, he got dressed. He was ready to go. Of course, they had a challenge apparently later that day. So he might have been out and about already.
I would love to talk about like your thoughts on, because like I understand, Jeff says, later, like, this has never happened. We don't know anyone who even knows anyone who's like had this happen. So I understand this was very unprecedented. That being said, I was kind of surprised that it seemed like there was no medical personnel on the beach at all. Like the person who went up.
You're saying at the camp?
Yeah, at the camp. Yeah. Because the person who went up to Jake was a producer, or at least that's what they said in the like subtitles and stuff. And then they like obviously put him on the boat and like got him to medical as quickly as they could. But it was like 45 minutes. And like, the doctor is like, as the boat's arriving, the doctor is yelling at them like, is he still breathing?
Right.
So I guess, I don't know. I mean, again, I'm sure this is like very unprecedented. It's never happened before, but I wonder if this is going to change things for them moving forward at all, if they're going to need more medical personnel on the beaches.
What's crazy is that blue camp, if I recall, I could be misremembering, but I think the blue camp's at the camp closest to Edge of Extinction, which is also the closest to Mana. So had Jake been on a different tribe, it would have taken even longer to get to Mon Island.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, Rebekah, I am not surprised that there's not like a medical person at each camp, but I do agree with you. I wonder if that will be a precedent moving forward, is to have like one medical person just there. 'Cause they said they have a safety guide, I think, which might be the equivalent. But even then, they don't have like, what safety stuff do they have? 'Cause like, what do they have that, like, what are you going to have at camp? You're going to have like you can't have like all that stuff there. I guess you could, but it seems a little, considering this happened one time.
Well, and because even like we've seen in like past seasons where like medical will come to the beach. So even if there's not necessarily someone there immediately, like maybe there would be at least someone there to say, hey, Jake, why don't you lay down and like not move, and I
think that's what the producer was there to, but it was kind of like, we need a boat now.
Well, yeah, but then they put him on a boat. So I'm just meaning like, I like, to have Jake, okay, lay down, like, let's wrap your foot, whatever we got to do, and get the medical to bring whatever equipment they need to Jake instead of having him go to the hut. But I'm not a doctor. I don't know. Maybe that wouldn't have made a difference, but it just seemed like the at least initial reaction from the doctor when he saw like Jake was coming in on the boat was like, is he even still breathing? And that was like shocking to me.
That was their first question.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, wait, was that a possibility?
Yeah.
And who knows, like, I'm sure they have to take things incredibly seriously. Like, he was maybe being more serious than he needed to be, which is good. Like, that's the reaction that you want from a medical professional. So, I don't know. But yeah, like I said, I'll just be curious to see kind of how this impacts things moving forward.
It would have been wild if the medical professional was like nonchalant, like eating ice cream.
That would have been really upsetting.
Just like, we have the best here taking care of you. Comes out, he's like, hang on, I'm still finishing up my ice cream. So I'm glad Jake's safe. It is sad they had to pull him. From my understanding is that the amount of attention Jake, I mean, I don't think Jake needed to be as far as I'm aware, from what I gathered, is that he didn't need to be like necessarily in air conditioning. Jeff was just going off about everything in terms of like all the things to make it sound more and more. But in reality, I think Jake would have needed somebody keep an eye on him. Number one,
Mm-hmm.
he would obviously be bandaged up, which by the way, they definitely bandage you up, because if you get a cut or anything like that, and like last week, Sophie had a bandage on during the challenge. So for sure. And we've seen in past seasons where somebody have like a bandage like on the shoulder or something. It's like, where'd that come from? And they got some sort of cut. They don't want to get infected. But I think it required more than that. Like clearly he needed extra liquid and food. And I think it would have been an unfair advantage to give that to Jake.
Yeah.
And they keep an eye on him, but like had he made a turn while they're on the island and he doesn't have any of the stuff he's supposed to have, like it's either A, everyone gets it, which I guess they could have done, or B, just Jake gets it, and that's unfair. So I think I guess the right call here was to pull Jake. What do you think?
Well, and yeah, because even like from Jake's perspective, like even if he did get food and water and I mean, I think even like being so cold and like wet like overnight, you know, because they still don't have a fire or anything, like that would have been really tough. But I think even if he did have food and water and like all of that, Sophie, I think, mentioned that, you know, like, how can he even still run on that foot? Because was it getting that bad?
Well,
I don't know. On it? Maybe, but it's at least bandaged up. It's maybe sore. Yeah. He did say it was sore. And also, by the way, the next challenge that they did like a couple hours later was in the water. So like even like when the doctor was talking, I was kind of like, okay, they're pulling him because they're worried about like how he's going to do psychologically. Like, can't you let him make that decision? But then going immediately to a challenge in the water, I was like, you know what? That doctor might have been onto something, because that would have been really hard.
Which is on Mana Island, by the way. Jeff doesn't leave Mana Island for nothing. For nothing. I don't say for nothing, but I do say for nothing as a joke. Like, obviously, he leaves it. He leaves it for the first challenge on day one. And had they done a medical evacuation on the actual island, he would have gone there. But yeah. So, anyways, I'm actually really glad the show showed us him being taken care of, because I would have dreaded just watching Blue for 15 minutes go, oh my gosh, what's happened? This is so sad. Oh my gosh, my feelings, they're not positive. The aura is not immaculate. The vibes are not vibing. I would have been like, this is the worst way to show them. So I'm glad they actually showed everything, because I feel like in the past stuff has happened. They're like, well, and Jeff comes back to the camp. He's like, the doctors have determined blah, blah, blah. It's like, show me that. I want to see that. Show me the actual. I agree with you
from a viewer perspective. I do like this better. It was a little like, I don't know exactly what the timeline was. Like, I don't know how much time there was between Jake getting bitten by a snake and when they did the challenge. But I was kind of surprised. Same day, apparently. Yeah. I mean, I was surprised that was when the Blue Tribe found out that Jake wasn't coming back. Was literally when they were at the challenge. Like, that seems like such a crazy like bomb to drop on people and then be like, all right, go do a puzzle, you know? But I don't know, I think they did their best, but clearly like, I don't know, that would just be tough to recover from. And I think Blue is just always struggling in challenges, but I'm sure that didn't help them in this challenge at all. It's not having time to recover from that news. It
was a puzzle. They weren't going to win anyways, even if Jake was there, based on what we've seen. So with that, yes, they have the challenge later. Something tells me that I think they said on the show, I think the doctor said Jake got bit at 9:29. So if you start putting the times together of like, okay, he got bit at 9:29, but like the producer was like, bring a boat over like the second he got bit. I'm sure there was like a bit of like, let's look at this. Okay, what was this? Which snake bit you? Like, let's look at it in the book. Oh no, that's the venomous bad one. Like even Alex shows the book that they have apparently on hand. And it's like, I'm sure there was a little decision making time. Who knows how long the boat was actually called, like it was still called. So then the boat has to come there. I don't know if the boat's coming from Mana, to be fair. Like, I don't know where all the boats are docked at. I know they have a bunch of boats on Mana when we went there, but they were like on land waiting for the next season to be filmed. So I don't know where they're docked at. Let's just assume that they're docked on Mana, because apparently that's where the medical team is. And it's 40 minutes to go to the beach. Okay, so 9:29, let's say 10 minutes later they call the boat. So 9:40, the boat's called. The boat gets there at 10:20 a.m. The boat picks up Jake. Jake gets on there. Boat's back on Mana at 11, right? We're now an hour and a half later for when Jake got bit, theoretically. And then Jake gets examined. Jeff walks in. By the time Jeff's like, everything's calmed down, Jeff's like, you're pulled from the game. I'm going to assume that was like maybe noon. Maybe. I don't know how long that timeline is exactly. So it's noon, and then they're probably filming the challenge at like 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock. The challenge probably only, I mean, like, what is Jeff going to take a 40-minute boat out there to tell them something? He's about to see them. Like, he's about to see them anyways. Like, they're already probably boating over anyways for the challenge. That's the, I mean, what else can you tell them?
I'm assuming it has to be Jeff that tells them to, like, they're not going to have a producer tell them.
Yeah, that would be lame.
Yeah. So it makes sense, but I'm still just like, man, that would be tough. I was like, honestly, and we'll get into this later, but it looks like we are getting a tribe swap next week.
Yes.
Part of me is like, why didn't we tribe swap now? Like, obviously, I know they're not like probably going to change the game just because someone got medically evacuated. And to be fair, watching the blue tribe get decimated is like good TV. Like, we're getting to know these players really well. And like, you know, it is really setting up an underdog story, which I know Survivor loves to do. So I get all the reasons why they didn't, but I'm just like sitting here watching Blue and they're like hearing this devastating news, and then
emotionally devastating for sure.
Like, they've lost, you know, a tribe member after voting someone out yesterday, and now they have to vote someone else out tonight, and they're down to 2 members, and it's just like, just watching, it's, you know, they talked about it a lot, and I guess we'll get into it more once we get to the challenge, but anyway, yeah, it was a lot, and I felt bad for them that they got the news about Jake right before the challenge, but it does now, you know, as you're laying out the timeline, it does make sense why that happened, but man, because they've had a rough go of it.
You have to take a 40-minute boat out there, and then to do that, and then what's the point? Like, they're about to just boat over for a challenge anyways, if they're not already boating over, so it makes sense timeline-wise, especially since everything had to be the same day, because we're on a 26-day schedule. Now, had it been 39 days, it had been different, I'm sure. So anyways, that happens. Jake is pulled. I think the reason, Rebekah, and this is from my understanding watching the show, since it follows game show rules, I know a lot of us forget that, but it has to follow game show rules. So before the season starts, they're like, okay, if in this scenario where tribe gets down to 2, that's when we tribe swap. They may have not had tribe swap built in this season, but like, had they like each tribe into, like, let's say through 3 episodes, every tribe lost 1 person, no tribe swap. Maybe there was no tribe swap. But because a tribe got down to 2, in this situation, we do a tribe swap. And I think it's how it works. Like, they're like, okay, in this situation, this happens. It's all pre-written out. And there's like people on there are on the island to make sure this happens, because it is under game show law, game show rules in the US. So like, they do have to follow rules. So in this case, it was, okay, we're down to 2, tribe swap. Or maybe there's already tribe swap in episode 4. Who knows? But what I will say is that Rebekah, it is sad that Jake got pulled. Like, sad that maybe they'll do a season of medical evacuations, which I've been saying they should do ever since they did one for 25. Why not do another one where like there's captains again or whatever? They put a bunch of medical evacuation, like captains, whatever. Anyway, so on the flip side, Rebekah, maybe for once in our new era lives, we can have a post-merge episode where there isn't both groups going to tribal. Oh my gosh, could you imagine? Could you imagine a post-merge where they don't split up everybody into 2 groups and force 2 groups to go tribal, because this is the extra elimination. This episode was it. They normally don't have this, I think. I'm trying to remember back, like, I don't remember a medical evacuation in 47. Like, I know in 44 we had MGM get pulled pre-merge. Oh, remember, it wasn't a quit, but he did quit pre-merge. Right. It wasn't a quit though, according to Jeff. It wasn't a quit, but he did leave on his own terms, but it wasn't a quit. Anyways, I don't know. Do we get a post-merge group split double tribal that season? You know what I mean? I think that we might avoid that because of Jake. Who knows? Yeah. So that
would be an upside for sure.
Definitely would be.
And also,
go ahead.
I mean, I'm so excited for next week. Like, I'm just so excited to see some people play.
Oh, I know.
Because like, that's been my whole thing with this season so far, is like, as entertaining as this episode was to watch, like I did really enjoy watching this episode. But I feel like I don't have a lot of new things to say other than what we've said last couple weeks, just because it's so heavily focused on Blue again. And so, like, we need to see the yellow tribe go to tribal. We need to see the red tribe go to tribal and kind of see where these lines are going to be drawn. So I'm very excited that it seems like we're getting that next week, because it's like, okay, now we're going to start. I mean, like with the tribe swap, we're going to see different people going to tribal. So we're going to get to actually kind of see the game start to move forward. So I'm very excited for that.
And I didn't do it happened so fast next time Survivor, but I didn't see a blue tribe. And it looked like there was a lot of people on the yellow. Like I kind of like Matt, Savannah, Rizgod, Sophi on yellow. And I didn't count, but like if we're going to take 662 and split it up into 3, what is that? Is that 4 each tribe? I think Steven was on yellow is my point. I think I counted 5 on yellow. And that right there is too many. I think if they do it, shouldn't it be 444? No, am I doing this math wrong? 6 plus 6 is 12, plus 2 is 14. 14 divided by 3 is not an even number.
Right. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, they might have to do.
I think it's a 2.
What would they be? 2 tribes of 7?
2 tribes of 7. Could you even imagine?
That would be crazy.
Could you imagine Survivor finally going, okay, we admit defeat. We're going to do 2 tribes for once. Holy crap.
Let's go. That would be awesome.
Don't say let's go. That is banned on this podcast. And I'll be very clear on why. I didn't say this before. It is banned. And here's why. I watched The Amazing Race, caught up last week on both episodes. And while I do like The Amazing Race and the season is pretty good, it does feature a bunch of Big Brother players. And for some reason, half, if not more than half the teams, anytime anything slightly positive happens, somebody like flexes their arms and says, let's go. And I'm like, are they all in on this? It is happening so often. It's ridiculous. Mary and I, I'm like, Mary, if you and I drink water, we would probably get sick every time somebody said, let's go. Like drinking water,
like
not
do
anything.
A shot of water.
Yeah. We would be going to the bathroom constantly because like it was happening so often. So while I do like Amazing Race and this season has been pretty good so far, the amount of times people said let's go is like it's driving me up the wall. So that is
But
banned.
I am allowed to say cinema, the vibes are immaculate.
That's fine.
Those are all good to go.
That's annoying Survivor things. If this is Amazing Race podcast, we would say let's go, but we're not going to.
For sure.
Anyways, so with that, let's go through the episode chronologically. One thing I do want to mention, for the past 2.5 weeks, I don't think I've even told you this, Rebekah. Only Mary and some people have asked in the comments. If you notice, those listening, that a video is missing, it's not because I deleted it. YouTube has copyrighted / blocked 30 plus videos in the past 2.5 weeks. And I only have so much time on my hands to go back and fix them and re-upload them. Like I can't redo all 30. And like, it's crazy, Rebekah. I woke up one morning, 6 videos while I was sleeping. One time I went to the bathroom and came back. This is not a joke. 11 copyright notices.
Oh my goodness. That's crazy.
In 2 minutes. I didn't have time to wash my hands without getting copyrighted. So yes, 30 plus videos. I don't have an exact count because it's another, again, like today it was 2 more. Like I don't have an exact, I have so many emails on my YouTube in my Gmail telling me, and it's like, and I go through and I'm like, yeah, this is going to take time to fix a lot of them. So like, it's not just like a simple, like, oh, just this one clip. It's this new AI system they have. It's the new AI system determines where ads go. I don't have any say on where ads go without fighting the system, basically. So you just kind of like bend the knee and let them do whatever they want with the ads. So sorry if you think you have too many ads. That's YouTube's new AI ad system they put in May. And then, yes, now they're doing their AI systems detecting what it thinks is copyright, even though it's fair use. So that's where we're at, and it's not fun. So if you're watching my channel and you're wondering where do these videos go, that's where. As I look at my YouTube revenue and I wonder where did my revenue go, I know where it went. It went to YouTube copywriting and blocking videos. Just insane. So yes, your all's patronage is more important than ever because it is absolutely making up for. It's 30 plus in 2.5 weeks, people. That's more than one a day. I went to the bathroom.
That's so crazy.
11.
Like the YouTube thing, like I'm surprised that they haven't like fixed their AI specifically for the ads. I mean, I don't know much about the
I'm sure they make more money.
But I don't know, because I was talking to my brother about this a couple weeks ago, and he didn't know anything like about the behind the scenes stuff because he just, watches YouTube as a viewer. And so I said something about the AI ads that they're doing, and he was like, oh, that makes so much sense because like he's been getting so many more ads on every channel all across YouTube. And
they got a new CEO, and I think that person implemented the new system.
Yeah. So, man, I can't imagine that's going to last long before driving people away from the platform to some extent. I mean, probably not entirely.
And what's the replacement?
It's a big enough platform. Like, I'm sure it'll, like, I don't know. But there's people like, Dropout that are, like, making their own app and stuff. So maybe that will become more popular. But hopefully YouTube corrects before that happens. Because I love YouTube. I watch it all the time. Yeah. But, man, The ads thing is tough.
And Spotify pays literally $0. So there's absolutely no motivation to put these on Spotify in any sort of timely manner, if that makes sense. So the podcasts are on Patreon with no ads. You can download them and you can listen to them with no ads. But yeah, in terms of like video hosting, there's just like no alternative. And it's not that I can't post with no ads, but I would love to do less ads. I really would. That's what I used to do. And then YouTube is getting more aggressive. And it's like, now if I want to put an ad where I want to put an ad, YouTube's like, we're not going to do that. No, like it literally says that.
Perfect.
Unless I put it in a spot that YouTube has pre-approved. And it's like, all right, YouTube, why don't you just tell me where you pre-approve it? Like that's how it works. Like if you don't put a pre-approved spot, YouTube's like, no. It's like, all right. It's like trying to figure out like, what does your girlfriend want to go eat at? Or your wife want to eat at? Like, just tell me where you want to eat. Okay. Like if you already know where you want to go, why am I guessing? I'm sorry. It might sound sexist. I'm sure it works the other way around. I'm sure like Rebekah, I mean, you're going out with somebody and they're like, I don't know where I want to eat. And I'm just saying, like, for me, it's
here's the thing. It's like when you ask, like, if someone asks me, where do I want to go eat? I genuinely don't know. But as soon as you mention something and I consider eating at that place, I'm like, well, I know it's not that. It's just as much a mystery to me as it is to whoever's asking me. So, yeah, it's not like
a tale as old as time.
But yes, I do understand the frustration.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's do this. Alex says Blue are the lovable losers. And man, it's just like last week where they have this conversation in the beginning and you're like, are they going back to tribal? Like last week was the opening thing was about Annie's like, I'm the puppet master in Blue. And you're like, are they going to tribal again? And then this week it was the same thing. I'm like, we couldn't open with yellow or red. We had to open with blue and basically setting up like, we're good. And then we go over to yellow and red and yellow's like, life's perfect. And red's like, life's perfect. And it's like, all right, I guess we're going to try.
That's the thing is like, I feel like, opening on yellow or red. I mean, again, maybe there's footage we're not seeing. I mean, there definitely is. But like, I don't think opening on either of those tribes would have made sense either because it seems like they are relatively comfortable and, happy-go-lucky. And there's not as much strategy talk happening because they don't have to yet because they haven't been to tribal. So, yeah, I mean, it makes sense why they opened with blue, but like you said, that does kind of make this episode a little predictable. Besides the whole Jake thing, that was unpredictable.
I did like when we went to yellow, though, and they're like, life's perfect, but let's go look for the beware advantage. We focused on MC and Steven because last people were like, MC at your number 3, why is that? And I'm like, I don't know. It feels like she's important, even though she only has 3 confessionals. And then look at this. What do we focus on with yellow? MC and Steven.
Yep.
And Steven, while he is feeling insecure about the fact that he was short 15 years ago, MC is the more important one, in my opinion, between the two of them. What did you think about them all deciding together? Let's go look for a beware advantage, Rebekah.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is kind of classic, modern Survivor of very like, oh, let's be kumbaya, let's go do this as a tribe and whatever. But then you've always got, 1 or 2 people that are like, actually, I'm going to go do my own thing. And like, it's for the tribe, supposedly, but actually, I really want this to benefit me. Which is, I don't know, I think a better attitude when you're playing Survivor, personally. So yeah, we'll see how it plays out. But it's kind of funny to me. Like, I like watching when a tribe is all like, oh, let's go do this together. And then someone's like, all right, I found it and I'm not telling anybody.
Yeah, thank goodness MC found it and said, nope, this is for me. And I'm
a big fan of that.
That's the smart move. I will say, though, Alex having his idol be public at Blue did end up working out in the sense of, like, they kind of weren't targeting Alex, but even if he hadn't told them, he would just, no matter what, you play this idol at this tribal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that was the right move. And also it was the right move from Sophie to vote for Jeremiah because, I don't know, it's just too risky. Because, I think if you're Alex, you have to play the idol here. Like, it's just almost dumb to not play it.
Her brand is loyalty and to look like she's loyal, even if she wasn't.
Yes.
She had to vote for Jeremiah.
If she had voted for Alex tonight and then, he's safe with his idol and then it's the 2 of them and he knows that she just voted for him, like, that's so much worse for her. So it was definitely a good move for her to vote for Jeremiah, even though, you could kind of tell she didn't want to, but it was a good move on her part. So, yeah.
So at yellow, they find the beware advantage. We go over to red, and I gotta say, for a second, I must have blanked out because Sage. So I'll tell you when I blanked out. Maybe fill in the blank. So Sage and Jawan suspect they're at the bottom, which accurate. They're correct. They're at the bottom. Sage is annoyed. All right, so I wrote this the way I interpreted it. So let me try to recollect how Sage said it, and then I'll tell you how I interpret it, and you can tell me how wrong I am.
Okay.
Sage says, growing up, I didn't really fit in. This is how I recall her saying it. And by the time I was a senior in high school, I was eating alone in my car, or by the time I was in high school, I was eating alone in my car. And every year she had a best friend, but their best friend ghosted her. Is that what she said?
Yeah, more or less. I think so.
So I wrote, Sage annoyed everyone growing up. Is that wrong?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's one way to look at it. I mean, I don't know if I've actually said this on the podcast. I was super homeschooled growing up.
No.
But I know, I don't give off that vibe at all. But I do think, like, to some extent seems like it's just kind of public school. Like, it seems very common to have, like, different friend groups in different grades. Now, once you get to high school, maybe that's a little different. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. So I'm not saying that, like, maybe she was, doing things and talking about peeing all the time and making people uncomfortable. I don't know. I wasn't in high school with her. So that's
Sage
very much a possibility.
Like, my friend has the kind of bottom that a toilet wants them to go brown in. And people are like, that's just weird. I can't be around Sage. Yeah. I just watched the new Naked Gun movie, and that's a joke he made. He's like, that woman has the kind of bottom that would make a toilet want her to go brown. And but that's in a movie where, like, you kind of expect the weird humor. Whereas, like, in normal day-to-day life, like, you're like, that's a one-time joke, but Sage is constantly talking about stuff like that. And I'm not saying she was doing that in her school. And
also, like, I do think,
wasn't.
Especially, like, that time of life is so much, like, you're trying to figure out who you are and, like, all of that. So I think there's for sure an element of, okay, maybe she just, like, hadn't found people who, like, appreciated her for her sense of humor. You know what I mean? Like, there's sometimes you just, like, you're kind of friends with someone because you are just at school with them.
In the same class, you have the same lunchtime period.
But it's not like you maybe don't have much in common. So, like, I don't know. I guess she didn't really say, but I hope that, like, at least now, as an adult, she's been able to kind of find her circles of people who appreciate her. Because I think that's a very common thing to experience in high school, is just trying to, like, find that group and find where you fit in. And it's tough if you don't in high school. But yeah. I don't know. So yeah, hopefully she's been able to find that as an adult.
Well, if this was Survivor of pre-48, pre-47, there would have been pictures associated with this story. But unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on who you are, there was not. I was hoping for her to have a selfie of her crying in her car, eating her lunch.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the only reason I say unfortunately, because that would have been a hilarious selfie to have associated with
it. Would have been so good. She's like,
story.
She's like 17 years old, and she's like, you know what? One day I'm going to be on Survivor, and I'm going to need a photo of this moment.
They cannot tell my sob story without one. I better take one quick as she's like eating whatever she's eating her lunch, eating her McDonald's, whatever. I know my high school was right next to a burger joint and a barbecue joint. So from my recollection, again, it has been a little bit since I've been in high school. And people would sneak off campus because you weren't allowed unless you were a junior or senior with a pass. Would sneak off campus and just walk down. And by sneak, I mean we had 3 security guards, and one was like 3 times the size of what a person should be, if that makes sense, especially as a security guard. So he was just in a golf. He was ready for Fiji because he was in his golf cart driving around. Except everybody in Fiji's in better shape than him. Anyway, so it was very easy to sneak off to go get food from those places. So. So she had she had some barbecue. Maybe she had a hamburger, or she's just in her car crying. This Whopper doesn't taste as good as it should. This Big Mac's not hitting the spot. It's not replacing the friends I crave.
I mean, I don't know about you, Wesley, but for me, when I'm crying, burgers taste better.
Do they?
Like, that's when I feel the most alive is when I'm crying. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I've never tried it. I guess I'll have to. I usually
You've never tried crying?
No. If I am, I have definitely cried. But if I'm feeling sad, I haven't thought time to get myself a hamburger or a cheeseburger.
Sure.
That's not usually my top priority.
Sometimes what happens is I get a burger and then I start crying because I'm like, this burger is so beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's so good. And then the crying just makes it taste even better. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the saltiness of the tears. I don't know.
There's so much salt in the burger. It just makes you cry. The onions are being chopped by your teeth as you're eating them, and it just makes you cry. Yeah, I totally get that.
Yeah.
I will say, growing up, I did go to a bunch of different schools because of my dad's job. So went to a bunch of different schools. So like, I understand the totally like having different friends every year thing, but I gotta say, if you're in your car crying in high school, and I was not there, but it's definitely one of those things where it's like, it definitely would hurt you. I could see why later on you feel insecure about yourself. But I would say if that's happening, you've likely annoyed the people around you.
Well, have you seen the movie Mean Girls?
I have once. Is it October 3rd
You've
today?
only seen it once? Oh my goodness. No, but that is a thing from the movie. That's like one of the things.
Did that happen in the movie? Is she just putting herself? Maybe is she just telling us the plot of Mean Girls?
Oh, she's trying to sneak in as many plot points as she can without us noticing. She's just saying
the plot of Mean Girls is her life.
Yeah. Well, it is a little different because in the movie, the main character, she eats her lunch in the bathroom. But maybe Sage was like, I don't know, maybe that's where her bathroom humor comes from. Sage is just living out the plot of Mean Girls.
Dude, what if this is the ultimate 4D chess move to have us all like feeling bad for Sage? And in reality, none of this was happening. She's taken the homework of Mean Girls and changed it up a little bit and presented as her own backstory. That would be genius. She
gets to Final Tribal and she's like, guys, this whole time, everything I've told you has just been the plot of Mean
Lindsay
Girls.
Lohan.
None of you know me.
I'm Lindsay Lohan.
Oh man, that's so funny.
I think for my backstory, I'd be like, when I was in high school, I got bit by a radioactive spider. And now I shoot webs out of my butt because I had to change up a little bit.
Yeah. And they're like, okay, do it, prove it. And you're like, I haven't had enough water.
Yeah,
like the conditions have to be just right.
Yeah. Oh man. So okay, what would your movie backstory be, Rebekah? Mine's Spider-Man. The original trilogy with Sam Raimi. That's
man. And Mean Girls is already taken.
Yes. Sage took Mean Girls.
Maybe I would do like Pride and Prejudice or something.
Ooh. So you go back in time? You'd be like, I grew up in the 1800s or 1700s, whatever.
I'd be like, there's this really annoying guy. He like broke up my sister and this guy that she liked. And then he like confessed his love for me. It was super annoying. And then I dumped him and came to the island. So yeah, like that. I don't know. It'd have to be
weak.
Yeah, I'd have to workshop it.
You would need to have a surprise marriage proposal from the guy that you thought didn't even like you.
That's the thing. Okay, this is what we need to do. We need to convince Jeff to bring the family visit back.
Oh.
And then the guy shows up and I'm like, I thought it was going to be my grandma. Yeah. Sort of an allusion to Johnny Fairplay. Oh,
no, you can't say grandma. You gotta say like my grandpa, just enough.
Yeah, or maybe my great aunt or something like that. Something different, yeah. And then this guy shows up and then everyone on the island is like, ooh, drama. And then he proposes and then I turn him down.
Yeah.
And it's like very public. Can you imagine a failed proposal on Survivor? That would be so awkward.
He's not even like dating you. He's just a guy you hired for the family visit.
Yeah, just some random guy.
Oh, man. That would be so great. Funny. I mean, that sounds expensive. That's a good bit. But also sounds amazing. Like, I'm sure you could find an actor in LA to fly out to Fiji to be your boyfriend.
All the best bits are expensive. Like the best jokes have to cost at least like $5,000, I would say.
Imagine though, you're at Final Tribal and you're like, no, here's the thing. No. You have to do it this way because it's going to look mean if you deny his proposal. You have to propose to him and be denied.
Ooh, yeah. The sympathy.
He has to deny you.
You're so right. You're
that
so
way,
right.
When you go to Final Tribal, you're like, I'm hoping with this money I can find a boyfriend who will love me.
That's so funny.
You can't, because if you deny him, you're the villain. That's a villainous move.
And then Maria pops out from the bushes and she's like, you're going to use this $1 million selfishly? I'm in.
And Dee's like, oh, never mind. All right, I'm going to end that joke there. Okay.
Okay, yeah. That's enough of that rabbit trail.
All right, we go over the Red Tribe. They're vibing. Yeah. Okay, so Sage annoyed everyone growing up is my understanding of what she said based on what I heard. Sage tells Shannon that Savannah is a huge threat. Now, here's where I blanked because then I wrote Savannah's mad at Sage. How did Savannah find this out? Did Shannon tell her? And I'm
because Shannon immediately went to Sage. At least in the edit, what we see is that Sage goes to Shannon. And then Shannon immediately goes to Savannah and snitches on her, which is really, like, it's a good thing for the relationship between Shannon and Savannah. Like, it's very clearly showing, like, okay, those two are way tighter than either of them is with Sage.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, and it definitely, like, I mean, obviously it looks like this exact tribe is not going to go to tribal, but it looks like the two of them are probably going to be targeting Sage to some extent because, like, yeah, Savannah's like, she says to Shannon, she's like, hey, if you didn't tell me that Sage was saying this, I wouldn't have even known anything about it because she's been so cool around me, like, you know, just not, like, hasn't mentioned anything or given me any weird vibes. I think the two of them will potentially target her at some point in the near future, but we'll see what happens with tribe swaps, of course.
Well, that's basically the little amount we got from Yellow. Yellow's look for Beware Advantage, and Red was that. And then we go to the immunity challenge, and as we talked about, because basically a lot of the episodes was dedicated, it felt like at least, it was dedicated to the medical evacuation. Maybe it wasn't as much as we thought, because they just upload to YouTube, and it's 10 minutes and 38 seconds. I'm like, it sure felt longer than that. Maybe they cut it down on YouTube because it felt longer. So anyways, I'll have to go back and rewatch it on Paramount Plus. So what was I saying? Oh, we go to the immunity challenge, and I don't really care about the challenge as much. Though you're right, it is in the water, which I find a little funny. I mean, not funny, but it definitely would be, like, if I was Jake, I would be, I don't want to jump in the water. And you can't sit out. You're on that
way.
Yeah. And Jeff's like, we have a bunch of people down there. Don't worry. And it's like, Jeff's like, we're doing this challenge. We set it up. We set it up.
We're going to do it, and you're going to be happy about it.
You're going to be happy, joy about it. Everyone's probably in the water, like, swimming as fast as they can. Don't want to get bit by a sea snake.
Honestly, that was probably good motivation.
Right. So basically, TLDR, too long didn't read, platform key puzzle. All right. So the puzzle is new and different. However, I did note that during the puzzle, Jeff said, this puzzle is dangerous. And I'm like, there's no way Jeff is referring to this puzzle is dangerous when Jake got bit by a sea snake in this episode.
Like 2 hours ago. That's crazy.
Right. The same day. It wasn't even days before. It's the same day. Jeff, you cannot unironically say this puzzle is no, this puzzle is not dangerous. The snake possibly killing Jake was dangerous. The puzzle, it's just a puzzle. It's not dangerous.
I thought it was funny. Well, first of all, I do want to point out, Jeff has said at least this episode, and I think last week, he's mentioned during the challenge how good Jason is at these challenges.
Yes. Target on Jason's back, right?
Yeah, which is like, I don't know. It's anytime Jeff is saying stuff, I don't know, maybe he's saying a lot of things and we're only hearing, you know, certain snippets in the edit. So maybe he's complimenting everyone and we just don't hear it. But I'm like, as a viewer, I'm like, Jeff, be cool. Like, you're putting such a target on this guy. So yeah, we'll see if that ends up impacting the game at all. But just from an editing perspective, at least, I definitely noticed that Jeff keeps mentioning that. So yeah, we'll see if it means anything.
Yeah, so basically, I mean, Blue ends up losing. I think we kind of all saw it, and I'm agreeing with you. Jason, not only did he do his usual thing of winning, but Jeff mentioned it, which has to, if it wasn't already there, has to be more there in people's brains. And I'm like, oh no, Jason's now a post-merge target. Like, I think he's fine through the pre-merge, but come post-merge, like, he's putting votes on him in fantasy. Like, he's going to be going, I think, sooner than later, unless he puzzles his way through. But I think usually the immunity challenge, I feel like only half of them are puzzles, and that might be a wrong guess. It feels like the other half are endurance when it comes to immunity.
Yeah.
So,
well, and even like some of the puzzles could be like slide puzzles or that sort of thing, which I don't think we've seen him do yet. So yeah, who knows if he can even do those types of puzzles. So yeah.
We do get sad music for Blue when they lose. Everyone's kind of quiet. Basically everyone's like, it doesn't feel good to, like, feels like they're beating up the kid who's already got a disability. Like, I don't know how else to explain. Like, it feels like bullying somebody who's at a disadvantage, I guess. I'm thinking back to Sage in high school. So I don't know if that's related, but anyways, high school is what's on my brain now. He said Mean Girls, Sage is annoying everybody in high school. All right. So Sophie wants Alex out with his idol, but okay. So a lot of this is nonsense to me. We'll talk about Red here in a second, because, like, obviously Sophie's spying on the conversation. What were you expecting those two to be talking about? Yes, that is such a great point. Because I like that she's spying on them, especially the way they cut it together. I was like, this is hilarious. This is like, you know, sort of reminiscent of like Tony from back in the day and his spy Sandra or whatever. From season 7. Yes. So I'm a big fan of that.
However, like you said, yeah, it's like
Rachel in 47 did it too. Rachel,
yeah, you're right. She did.
She was spying on Genevieve, if I recall. What about Genevieve? She was spying on her.
Oh, I love it when people do that. It's great. But yeah, like you were saying, it is kind of like, I mean, the only thing that those two are going to be talking about is voting her out.
Well, yeah,
so
like, what were you expecting?
I mean, I don't think she really like got any information from that. That being said, it was still iconic. The vibes are still immaculate. Big fan. Hope that she continues doing that.
The aura was so cinema.
Oh, so cinema.
Yeah.
So I hope that she continues doing that during, like, after the tribe swap, because that would be amazing. So we'll see if it continues.
Yeah, just like she's like spying on them. She's like, they're talking about voting me off. Like, duh.
For sure.
What do you think Jeremiah and Alex are going to talk about, Sophie? Of course they're going to talk about voting you off.
Yeah.
Could you imagine they're sitting there like, Jeremiah's like, well, I guess it's time to vote me off.
Yeah. And Sophie's like, no, they're playing 4D chess.
Reverse psychology. They're actually talking about voting me off. Even
they're using code names. Their code name for me is Jeremiah.
The code name for me is Jeremiah. Oh man, yeah. I think Alex would have been a fool not to play the idol. Like, even though he didn't get majority votes, this was just the smart play. In no situation should he not be playing the idol. I will say that, let's say, in the theoretically possible to have a 1v1v1 tie vote and Alex didn't play the idol for some reason. In that situation, I think, did they just make a 3-way fire challenge? What else would happen? Like, they can't revote.
Well, isn't it that like two people have to agree on someone?
No.
Isn't that, like, wouldn't that be what it would?
So how it normally goes in a tie vote is the people being voted for have no, like, they usually, okay, so tie vote happens, they revote, let's say it's tied again. Okay, in this situation, I don't think you could, I mean, maybe they do let him vote again and then it ends up being 2v1, which I guess is possible, but under the assumption that they don't for some reason. They tie again. Everybody's being voted for in that situation is safe, and those who were voting for the people being voted for have to draw rocks. Now, there are 3 people and they have voted for each other, which puts them in a situation where either A, they're all completely safe because there's nobody to draw rocks, or B, realistically, I think they make fire. In that crazy scenario, I think a 3-way tie. Though I'm going to guess that, and it would be a 1v1v1. Jeff's like, all right, we're going to revote. Please don't put 1v1v1 again.
They're all like, okay, Jeff, can we vote for you? Like, I don't know.
What if they're like, no, we actually, they could have been like, none of us want to vote each other off. So we are going to make fire, Jeff. That's what we want to do. Sure. That would have been crazy.
That would have been very
I don't feel good about voting off Jeremiah or Alex. We want to make fire. We want to, if I'm Sophie or whatever. I mean, I don't think that would ever happen, but I can't say it's completely impossible either. I've seen a tribe volunteer to go to tribal. So at this point, nothing's impossible.
Yeah. We've seen Eric give up individual immunity.
Oh, what?
Anything is possible.
So, hey,
did you hear about this?
I try not to watch Secret Scene, so I'd prefer you not tell me like stuff that doesn't really matter to the show.
Guess kind of a spoiler, so sorry about that.
It's a spoiler and it's not important. I don't know why you'd say that. So. All right, so let's go to the Red Tribe, because basically the Red Tribe has what the Yellow Tribe did earlier, where they're going to look for the Beware Advantage altogether. And unlike MC, the Rizgod publicly announces the moment he finds that they found it, which in my opinion is a dumb move. Tells us, oh no, the only person who's going to have this is me when I give to Jeff. So why'd you tell everyone, Rizgod?
Yeah, I think, like, to be honest, as much as I'm sorry, I'm not, this isn't super negative, so don't come at me. I love Rizgod, so don't get me wrong. That being said, I think that this is very on brand for him. Like, he's talking about, like, oh, like, I'm going to bring out my motivational speaker side, and like he's just always playing into like the charisma and like, just, I don't know, he just has such a like stage presence, if I can use that term. Yes. Like, he just has such a presence in a group of people.
A motivational speaker.
Yeah, I think he's always going to lean into that. And I do have to say, I think that's going to be the downfall of his game. Like, I think that's going to be at his detriment at some point. But it's, I don't know. I like, again, he's very charismatic, so it's fun to watch. And it's like, I get what he's doing. And at least for now, obviously everyone seems very on board with it. So I think eventually down the line, like you said, there's going to come a time where it's like, oh man, I wish this person didn't know that I have the idol or whatever. And it's going to cause problems for him. But yeah, especially just being in such a kumbaya tribe that hasn't had to go to tribal yet. It's like, why wouldn't he tell everyone? They're all getting along. They're all friends. And that's going to change pretty soon. But for now, it makes sense. Like, yeah, let me tell everybody. So yeah, we'll see how it plays out. But I think eventually that's going to end up biting him. But for now, I don't know. Yeah, he has a lot of charisma, so I get it.
If it bites him, hopefully it's not a sea snake.
Yes.
Right.
That's very good. Yep.
The Rizgod needs to win. All right. So with that, Jeremiah gets voted off. Long story short, Next on Survivor is a tribe swap, as I kind of alluded to earlier. It's, to me, I counted too many people on what looks like the yellow tribe. So I think it's 2 tribes. I think legitimately we're going to get 7 versus 7, which is fantastic. Finally.
Yeah, that's awesome. Let's do it. Let's go.
It's about
I can't say let's go. Sorry.
You're banned.
I'm so sorry. Triggered. Oh no. The vibes, the cinema, immaculate.
They're so immaculate. All right. Yeah. So that's what happened. And I don't think I have anything else from the episode proper. Do you?
No, I don't think so. I think we covered it.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on to what's new on Patreon. As I mentioned earlier, 30 plus videos have been blocked that I'm working on. So your guys' patronage is very much appreciated, because you guys just honestly make this channel happen. Without Patreon, this channel would not be happening. Financially would not be viable. So, all right. With that, I do have a few videos on there that you can watch right now, including all of my blood versus water videos. Hayden, Tina, Sierra, who voted off her own mom, Laura, who also has her own video. And I was working on Tyson's today. So Tyson, the Coconut Bandit, will be up there within the next few days. So all of my blood versus water story videos will be on there. Or 4 of them are on there, and Tyson's will be there in the next few days. So again, appreciate you all supporting this channel. It really does mean a lot. And every month you get to vote for 3 to, I believe, 7 videos. Depends on what month. Depends on what polls are up that month. But yes, at minimum 3 videos, up to 7, depending on what tier you're in, to pick for me to make every month. So, well, I always get comments like every day, like, hey, can you make this video? And it's like, all right, well, in every podcast and every video, I do say how to do that. And this is the answer. If you are still been looking, how do I tell this channel what to make? There's your answer. All right. With that, let's move on to winner analysis. Yes, I am looking forward, Rebekah, to nailing you with the trivia question, but let's do winner analysis first.
I don't know. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to gloat about that for a little bit, but yeah, we'll do winner analysis first.
All right. With that, it is so hard to do winner now. Tomorrow, Madison and I are going to be ranking every single player left in the game, which I think at this point is 14. So Madison and I she will join me tomorrow. Mary's going to take the week off as Madison and I talk. So look forward to that. But today, Rebekah and I, let's do our top 3. I will say that I wish another tribe had gone to tribal, because it is so hard for me to evaluate these other 2 tribes when it's like, okay, they don't go to tribal and now they're doing a tribe swap. So maybe that's why we haven't gotten super deep focus on, yellow or red, because ultimately these 2 tribes don't go to tribal. It's the tribe swap versions that go to tribal. And it's like, all right. So with that, we're going to try to do our best here, but it feels like if I could just escape blue for a minute, that'd be nice. Who's your number 3, Rebekah?
All right. So my number 3 is Sophi B from Blue, to be clear, because again, there are 2
Sophie
Sophies
S,
playing
had,
this game.
0 confessionals this week.
Yeah, it's funny. I kind of keep forgetting that there's another Sophie out here. I feel so bad for her because she's made it so far, but she's gotten 0 screen time. So I keep forgetting about her.
I want to throw this out there. Christina and Jason last week got 0 confessionals. They're out. They're done. I know. Yep. That quick, huh? Episode 2, they were 0 confessionals. They're donezo. And the winner analysis. I don't know. It feels to me like there's some people this week that had 0. I haven't seen the stats yet, so I'm interested to see who got the 0. But I feel like Sophie S, who you're saying, probably has 0.
I don't remember seeing her this episode, even like during the challenge and stuff. I'm sure she was there.
She probably
and again,
was.
This is all editing. I feel so bad for her, but like, yeah, it's nothing that she did. It's just she's not.
She just wasn't important in any way at all. Go ahead, yeah. Number 3, Sophi B.
That's my biggest fear. Anyway.
Is being 0 confessional?
Is being like...
Not being bit by sea
getting
snake?
on Survivor and then being like ignored.
What about dangerous puzzles?
That doesn't scare me as much. As long as Jeff isn't telling everyone how good I am at the dangerous puzzles. That scares me.
All right. So Sophie B, why is she your number 3?
So honestly, it felt like I had to pick someone from Blue to some extent because we haven't seen anybody else go to Tribal. So I don't know. We've just gotten so much content from the Blue tribe. And I've said it before, but Sophie definitely seems like the main character from Blue. So even like tonight when they were talking, Alex was like, oh, maybe I'll like play my idol and vote Sophie or whatever it was. I was like, Sophie's not going home tonight. Because she's just had way too much focus so far in the season.
Seems very important, yes.
In fact, I don't know if you mentioned the Survivor, the what is it called? Not trivia, the voting thing. What am I trying to say?
Fantasy game?
Fantasy game. Thank you. Yeah, so the Survivor fantasy game, I put 10 votes on Jeremiah because I was like pretty sure that he was the one going home tonight.
Oh,
so
good
all
call.
All of that to say that, yes, I think Sophie is the main character of the Blue tribe. Obviously, like, we'll see how things shake out next week once we actually have a tribe swap and different people are going to Tribal.
Yeah.
But yeah, right now, I'm really enjoying Sophie, the Sophie content, and I think she has a lot of good, like, strategy talk and all that. So, yeah, I think she's going to be at least the main character from the Blue tribe, and we'll see how far that gets her in the game.
I don't know why you risked putting 10 votes in Jeremiah when Jake was a freebie.
Well, yeah, but I don't know if it counts if they get medically evacuated if you put votes on them.
All of my votes on the J. The J I knew was going. And I'm like, J is gone, dude. Jake is out of here. So I put all my votes on a guy with the first letter of J, and he sure got medically evacuated. And I'm hoping I get 10. We'll see what happens when it gets updated. I'll put, obviously, as always, doing Patreon, I'll post the update. But yeah, I don't have high hopes, though, because flipping Annie's on my team.
Oof, that's tough.
That's like when
I've got Nicole on my team, I'm right there with you.
I know. Every week, I'm like, anybody who joins now, like, you have a leg up over, like, me, Rebekah, so many other people in terms of your team, because you're not going to get saddled with somebody who sucks. And by sucks, I mean they're already out of the game, which just drags your team down. My number 3 is, I'm sticking to my guns. MC, number 3. Feels like the most important of the Yellow tribe. I am curious. Next week, I feel like will be eye-opening in terms of 2 tribes. In theory, means we should get more focus on who's important, because no longer do we have to find the main character of each of the 3 tribes. It's going to be, now who's the most important of the 2 tribes? More with the same amount of episode, unless there's a journey. So in theory, all right, who's the most important on red and yellow? I assume it's 2 tribe colors. I think blue's dead. So we'll see. Yeah. I think MC, if she's as important as I think she is, she'll be a focus on the tribe she goes to, which I think is the red one again. I don't think I saw her on yellow. She is separated from Steven, but ultimately MC has to be red advantage. Now I do wonder though. Oh, I just realized if MC goes to the red tribe and she has to be red advantage, is her vote just gone? Same with Rizgod. Rizgod's on yellow and he was on red. Like they swapped.
Yeah.
Does Rizgod?
That's a really good question.
If they go to, does he not have a vote until the merge or something? How's that work?
Well, he's not on the right camp. The way it's phrased is like you don't get a clue until you lose immunity, and it's going to be a clue to the beach for the tribe that you're on.
Well, I think it said water well, so I guess the water well doesn't matter. The water well's the water well.
True. Yeah. It could be it could be on a different beach.
What if him and MC are on the same? I don't know. Again, I didn't catch it. What if him and MC are on the same tribe and they both?
Yeah, it's just the first one.
They lose.
It's a race.
The first one to it, right?
Yeah.
Oh wow, that could. I don't.
But then what happens? Because it's like, is it just for one tribal or until the merge that they lose their vote, or is it?
Think it's
you just never get a vote.
I think it's until you find it, Rebekah, and if you don't find it, you don't have a vote. So it could be the whole season.
That's really. You know what? That's really scary.
That is actually that's legitimately scary to not have any votes all season.
Yeah.
And well, if you're at like the next to last tribal and Jeff's like, Rizgod, you still can't vote.
You're on the jury and Jeff's like, I don't know, man.
Rizgod's like, no, that's fine. That's how I made it this far. I haven't had to vote for anybody ever.
That's crazy.
It's actually been the best season ever. I've had to make no decisions.
Oh man.
All right. Well, number 3 for me is MC. She's the most important on the yellow tribe. And while I do agree with you, Sophie B is the most important on blue, I feel like am I being tainted? Am I being persuaded by the fact that Blue keeps going tribal? So somebody had to be. Whereas, like, let's say Blue wasn't going tribal. Would Sophi B be the most important person? You know, I don't know. Like, I feel like
fair enough.
Sure, her and Alex make it out of there, make it out of Blue and tribe swap. So of course, her and Alex has had a ton of confessionals. I think the first 2 episodes he had 21. So her and Alex have had the most amount of content. It makes sense now that they both escaped this tribe and go to whatever tribe. I think Sophi B's on yellow. Again, I forget.
Yeah.
It was so fast. I think she's on yellow.
I do agree that that Alex has been getting a good amount of content as well. I think the thing that gives Sophi the edge over him, at least for me, is just that everything is seemingly through Sophie's perspective. Specifically last week. Yeah, main character energy. Yeah. Specifically last week when Alex found the hidden immunity idol, all we were hearing about was not how excited Alex was. I mean, I'm sure we heard a sentence or two from him, but then it was so focused on Sophi and her being like, oh man, this isn't good for my game. Here's why. Here's, I want to be aligned with Jake, and his relationship with Alex messes that up. So it's all focused on Sophi and her perspective and how things are affecting her game. So that's what gives her the main character energy in my perspective.
And I've had her ranked at number 4, I think, the first 2 weeks. So
yeah,
I could be persuaded for sure to move her up. Though, again, top 4 for me is like a good group to be in no matter what. We'll see what happens with this tribe swap. Who's the most important in the tribe swap? Because let's talk about our top 2. Our unless I'm mistaken, our number 2 is Rizgod and our number 1 is Savannah.
Yeah, imagine if I just pulled something crazy and I was like, no, my number 1 is Matt.
My number 1 is Jake.
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, number 2 Rizgod, number 1 Savannah.
So with that, it not only is it that we know they're going to be on 50, that helps, but also every week they get content. Every week they've been focused on, even when there's no need. Now Rizgod found the Beware advantage, so he needed it, but Sage is like, I feel out. Shannon, let's get Savannah. Savannah's like, I'm ticked. Savannah's pulling a Liz over here, like she's just ticked. That is something. They didn't have to do that. There's no need. They could have waited, right? Because Red doesn't go tribal, but they did. They made sure to slip in a little Savannah. And Savannah did screw up with the challenge, but they made sure to slip a little Savannah into the show because, as we have learned, and as I should have adhered to last season, if you get 0 confessionals in an episode, you're dead in the water. Joe got 0 confessionals in an episode last season. He should have been dead in the water. How did I ignore my own rule? Genevieve got 0 confessionals in an early episode of 47. She was dead in the water. If you get 0 confessionals, you cannot win. All winners since 42 and onwards have had a confessional in every episode. So when I see the chart, I'll know who else is dead in the water. I feel like Sophie asked, like you alluded to, who is she? Is probably dead in the water. If she got one this week, I would be like, when? What? When was this?
Yeah. What was it about?
What did she say? She just said hi, just enough to mess with us. She's like, hi. Oh, okay. Yeah. So, I mean, for me, Rizgod, important. Savannah, also important. And they just have the 50 boost at the moment. I'm waiting for something to undercut them and convince me that they're not in line to go super far. Because at the moment, they've got to be guaranteed merge. Got to be guaranteed merge.
Absolutely.
What do you think about Rizgod, Savannah?
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. That's the big thing for me is the fact that they're on 50, which again, we'll see when there's other evidence that might discredit that. But I think also just the way that things are being edited, when Sage is talking to Shannon about how awesome Savannah is, we get a montage of her ripping a coconut open and doing different things. And Sage is she's so strong and smart and pretty, and I don't know. I'm what are we talking about?
The toilet wants her to take a brown in it.
Yeah, exactly. So there's that, and then the fact that as soon as that conversation ends, the very next thing we see in the edit is Shannon going back to Savannah and being like, "You're not going to believe what Sage said." Just sharing all the information.
Yeah,
really
Sage was like, "I like Savannah. She's so strong." Ugh.
Yeah, exactly. And then but just kind of establishing that Savannah is getting information from Shannon and just the that they have a strong working relationship and stuff. So again, like you said, it's hard to get too in depth until we actually see people go to tribal and kind of get some more information on where everyone's at in the tribe. But for right now, because the 2 of them are on 50 and the fact that they're getting a lot of positive content to back that up, I feel really good about keeping them as number 1 and 2 for now.
Yep. And I do highly encourage those who want even deeper information to check out my video of Did Survivor Really Spoil season 49, because I go more into depth about what Survivor themselves has basically done to potentially reveal about Savannah and the Rizgod. So check that video out if you're interested. I did upload it a couple weeks ago. Tomorrow, Mass and I will be ranking all 14 players left in the game, so look forward to that. Okay, let's move on to trivia question of the week, where Rebekah has apparently used witchcraft to take a 2-0 lead. Unheard of in our time podcasting together. Her taking the lead has made me put a job search out on Indeed to find not a replacement for you, but a replacement for me, because I should be ashamed of being down 2-0.
I was nervous there for a second. I was sweating.
Nope. I said I need a replacement for myself.
This is your last podcast.
Nope. I'm replacing me for being. I'm ashamed of my performance. I should be doing better.
Yeah.
So Rebekah, I'm afraid to do my question and you nail it, and then I miss mine. So let's do your question. You ask me first.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay. So your question this week is, who was the first non-unanimous winner in a season with a 10-person jury?
What the fuck?
So, yeah, the first person who did not get all 10 jury votes on a season with 10 people on the jury.
Yes.
So your options are Jeremy Collins, Adam Klein, Sarah Lucina, or Nick Wilson.
Sarah Lucina, because Jeremy Collins clean sweep the jury and Adam Klein clean sweep the jury. So, wait, this is a trick question. Sarah Lucina didn't have 10 jurors. Screw you. If this is a trick question, screw you. Because Adam Klein and Jeremy Collins both clean sweep 10-0. I'm 99% sure. Sarah Lucina, did Game Changers have 10 people? It was a 20-person cast. Ozzy was the first jury member. See how much I know? Do I know if it's 10 people or not on that jury, though? I know for a fact Nick Wilson, who's the fourth option, did not clean sweep the jury because Mike White got 2 votes. I think Brad Culpepper got 4 and Sarah got 5. Oh no. Is that right? You know what I mean? Shoot. Was it 6-4? Screw this, dude. I want to say Sarah Lucina, but watch it not even be a 10-person jury. No, there's no hints. No hints. That's not fair.
Hints?
No, hints are not fair. Hints are
I do love that. Fair. Just like, I love the spiral. I think the current score is getting to you. I love it.
Because like the answer seems so clear cut that it's probably right, but it could be wrong because it's so clear. So Sarah Lucina, I don't like where this is going.
Right. Is that your final answer?
I guess.
That is correct. Yeah, okay, you're right.
Good. All right.
I didn't write down the exact numbers, but yeah, she did not clean sweep the jury.
No,
so,
I think Culpepper got 3 or 4 votes.
Yeah. And then, Nick on David versus Goliath, he got 7, and who was it? Mike White got 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Angelina sadly got 0. Angelina's on 50. How do I forget? I cannot wait.
Dude, yeah.
She is a goddess amongst men. Like, she deserves better than anything. She did you know
I'm so excited to see her play again.
One time she traded for Rice humbly and it was never talked about on the show ever. She once climbed a ladder 50 feet to get an idol. Okay.
That was,
and then lost her idol
when
clue.
Survivor was really scary.
Idol clue. She lost her idol clue. So Mike White, wine in hand, drunk, finds the idol clue for Angelina.
Oh my goodness. And that guy ended up getting 3 votes. That's so funny.
Right. What a great season. All right. So your question, Rebekah.
Well, hey, wait, you're on the board. We got to celebrate. That's exciting.
To stump you though.
Let's go. Okay.
In which episode of Vanuatu, season 9, did the earthquake happen? Your options are episode 2, 3, 4, or 5.
Ooh, okay. Oh man, this is a great question. And I'm sure you did this on purpose because it has been forever since I've seen the season.
That's the point.
I don't think it was super early in that
Trick question. It was in Palau. Just kidding. No.
Can you imagine?
Trick question. It wasn't even that season.
Oh, no. So, sorry, what were the options again? Like 2
Episodes
through 5,
2, 3,
essentially?
4, or 5. Yeah. One of those.
Okay. I'm going to guess, I want to say 4 or 5. My gut says 4. So I don't really know, but I'm going to guess 4.
That is incorrect. It was episode 5.
Oh, dang. I was so close to guessing that. Okay. All right.
2 2-1. All right, I'm catching up.
Let's go.
If you had gotten that one, I was going to go even harder next week. Like, I was like, all right, how hard is too hard for Rebekah?
I'm not kidding. I was so close to guessing 5 just out of nowhere. So that would have been crazy.
I would have upped the difficulty next week. The difficulty is going to keep being upped until you missed. So it's a good thing you missed this week because I was going to keep going harder and harder. And then that was just going to be how the questions were going to be. All right. Well, it sounds like I'm going to have to amp up the difficulty because you're getting them now. So yeah. If those out there have not watched Vanuatu because you haven't heard amazing things about it, or maybe you started it and didn't finish it, episode 5 not only is the earthquake, but is the turning point of the season because the earthquake happens, like literally an earthquake in the show. And then they do a tribe swap that season. And that's when the season takes off like a rocket. Hopefully it's how 49 is. The tribe swap happens and the season takes off. I'd appreciate that as well. But in season 9, the tribe swap happens. The men versus women gets split up. And boy, oh boy, does the season just like it starts at episode 5 getting good. And then just gets better and better with every episode until the end. It is a slow start, but it's worth it. It's a slow burn at first, but yeah, that earthquake literally makes that season. The earthquake plus the tribe swap literally takes that season to another level. So nice. For those who haven't seen season 9 or have started, because like the first 4 episodes, I admit, hard to watch. Like this is like, it's clearly they had too much going on. They crammed it in 42-minute episodes. Like clear as day, that premiere was meant to be longer and they had to cut a bunch out on top of everything else. They like put a bunch of twists. It was like almost like New Era Survivor. They tried shoving a bunch of twists in way too early, way too fast. They did not, it was poorly paced in the beginning. So, all right, let's move on to your all's questions. Every week on YouTube, ask your all's questions here on YouTube as soon as the episode's done. And I will say that if you are somebody who actually listens to the podcast and comments on it, if you comment on the podcast, you're more likely to be picked by your questions. Because I recognize those who only comment on the question form and don't comment on a video or podcast. And to me, it's like, all right, so like if I'm answering your questions, are you even listening? Because I don't want to answer people who aren't listening. I want to answer people who are listening. So if you're actually listening, comment on the podcast. I'll know, okay, this person does listen. So I am going more likely to pick your question. That's why I say this. So, all right, first question is from the Rebel Dog, who asked 2 tribes, which I think is just saying, is there going to be 2 tribes next week? I think there is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. And I hope so. Seems like that would be the best option right now. So yeah.
Amanda Talks Wrestling tells us that as a Canadian, they could confidently say that Jake has the most stereotypical Canadian accent they've ever heard. So that is good to know.
That's awesome.
I didn't know it was that. Apparently that's okay.
Is that based on anything particular that he said during the show or just like in general?
Okay, so let's read this.
Okay.
As a Canadian, so apparently that qualifies them to tell us that they can confidently say Jake has the most stereotypical Canadian accent. Now, that'd be like as an American, I could say this thing about somebody who lives in Hawaii. Is that accurate?
Well,
I don't know.
But here's the thing. I feel like Canada is, I mean, smaller? I don't know. I've never been there. No, I feel like it's much more uniform in terms of accents. Like, I feel like there is kind of a generic Canadian accent. Yeah. Much more than like from the US, if people say like a generic American accent, they're doing like a Texas accent or something, you know, like there are different dialects.
Okay. That's true.
Like you go to Texas, it's going to be different than LA, like that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I feel like
Boston,
Canada's more, Boston, like somewhere up north is going to be very different. So I don't know. I've never been to Canada. That's my 2 cents. People can correct me if that's wrong. But yeah, I feel like Canada's much more uniform.
That is insane that you've never been to Canada considering you live in Detroit. You're right across you just got across the bridge.
Yeah, I'm like a 15-minute walk away or a 40-minute boat ride if you're Jeff.
Rebekah does not live in Detroit, you people who are going to look that up. All right, that doesn't really narrow down. You're just not in Detroit. Okay.
Just not Detroit. I don't even live in the U.S. Can you imagine?
Whoa, plot twist.
Whoa.
All right, next question is from Cyclones. Darn, I was rooting for Jake. Here's hoping he's invited back to a later season. I picked this one because I was thinking, yeah, why not do another... Because like Pat was medically evacuated the very first episode of season 37. And apparently Pat was like a big inspiration for why they did the theme of Dave versus Goliath. And I'm like, sounds like somebody should have been asked back by now, right?
Yeah.
So Bruce got asked back.
Yeah, could they invite Bruce back? And then Katura could just, pop out of the bushes and tell us how much she hates him maybe a couple times.
I'm just down for them to do themes. And even though season 25 Philippines wasn't, the theme was the Philippines, I guess. Like it's also themed by the fact that there's a returnee on every tribe who is a medical evacuation. Like, that is a theme. You know, it's something. So, all right. Next question is from Hope. Question: Rizgod has a yellow buff, so that's what I was saying earlier. Does he never get his vote back because he had the Big Brother advantage in red? I think honestly that unless him and MC are on the same tribe, I think he just gets a clue at the water well on yellow instead of, or whatever. Like, the thing's gonna be at the yellow tribe. I don't think it's like camp specific, but I do think that if him and MC are on the same tribe, that's how it works. Like, okay, only one of them can get it.
And the other thing too is, like, on one beach, didn't it say it was by the water well, but then another beach it said it was by like their boat or like by camp or something. So like I do wonder, it's like, okay, if the yellow team loses, then yes, Rizgod has a clue that he can dig for, but does he know where to look? Like, is it going to be by the water well like his clue says, or is it going to be somewhere else because that's what MC's clue said?
And that's a good point.
I'm really curious to see how that kind of plays out.
I guess we're gonna find out because red or yellow is going, and I think they're on separate tribes. All right, next question is from Randall Westgard. The important question is, Rebekah, what is your favorite song on The Life of a Showgirl?
Oh no! Oh, this is a
short answer, Rebekah. Short. Keep it simple.
Okay.
People don't like Taylor Swift like you do. Pick one.
I've recently been listening to Lizzie McAlpine.
All right. Moving on.
Different artist. I'm not going to comment on. I'm not going to comment on Taylor's new album because it's going to upset too many people.
You don't like it? Because then you and I will finally agree on something.
Yeah. Well, have you listened to it?
No, I just don't care for Taylor Swift.
Yeah. Well,
no, so my bias is that I don't care to listen to the album unless I'm told there's a really great song on it, I guess is the way to put it. Because I will listen to something if I'm told it's really that good. Yeah.
I'll just say, if you're going to listen to a Taylor Swift album, go listen to Evermore. Don't listen to Life of a Showgirl.
Okay.
Like, it was fun. There were some fun songs. Like, it's fine. But just in terms of the writing, like, it's not her best work, in my opinion.
I think you just gained fans by saying this.
Yeah. Go re-listen to Evermore because that's poetry right there.
Oh, I thought Tortured Poets Department was poetry.
Tortured Poets Department is poetry, but it's not as good as Evermore, in my opinion.
Okay, I don't care. Moving on. But Galaxy's again, Universe asks, the show may seem like Jake was pulled because they don't have any food. Wouldn't that be resolved by simply giving Jake some rice? I'm so confused by the reasoning. What do you think, Rebekah?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think rice would have been enough. Like, I think they needed to give him more, like, sustenance from what I was understanding. Again, I'm not a doctor. I don't know anything. But just based on, like, what they were saying in the show, I think they wanted to make sure that, yeah, he had plenty of fluids and, like, probably needed to get him some protein and different things. Like, I don't know if rice would have been enough. And then, like you mentioned earlier, if we just give one person some rice, that's an unfair disadvantage. Mm-hmm. So then does everyone get rice?
Right.
So I think it's a little more complex than that. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I agree because my initial thought was like, it doesn't really seem like they need to pull him. But as they kept like explaining and then obviously seeing what the next immediate challenge was, it's like, yeah, I guess that kind of makes sense to me. So yeah, what do you think, Wesley?
Better safe than sorry, I think, is the direction.
Yeah.
I mean, I Google anything about anything that I've ever had happen to me, and it says go to the doctor. And I'm like, I think this is just like a cold.
Right.
I think I could just, or it'll be like, I think I could just take ibuprofen and sleep this one off. And 99.9% of the time, I'm right. But WebMD always says, go to the doctor. You're probably on the verge of death for everything. So I think that if you ask a doctor anything, they're going to always assume the worst. And that's probably for multiple reasons. Number one is they don't want to be held liable for nothing. Mm-hmm. And the other one is just like, obviously they don't want anything to happen to you. So like, you know, safety first. But last one is from Brody Smith. I hate how they keep having this weird motif of the game is real, the environment is real, trust. Like no one was doubting you, Brody says. I picked this one because in reality, Brody, I get people. Now, this is not those who actually watch Survivor. This is those who watch my videos as they pop up in YouTube recommendations and say, this is why I never watch Survivor. It's so fake because they're watching a video where I like highlight insane things that have happened. So I take, you know, an event that's happened, like the One World Tribe agreeing to go to tribal when they had no need to. It's like, well, this has happened one time in 49 seasons. But this person who's watched this video takes this and sees this show is fake. It's scripted. This isn't real. And I always comment, I'll be like, do you have any proof? The show's been going for 25 years, so you have to have proof. There's got to be something out there. There's been 700 plus players, and they will never respond. Never. When the moment I ask for proof, or I say this is a game show, follows game show rules, they never reply. They'll just leave their comments. So people out there do still doubt that the show is legit. So I think it's why you get like Jeff constantly saying that. But like the people trying to convince aren't the people watching the show. Like people watching the show already think this. You don't have to convince us. We're on board with you.
Right. And it's interesting that they commented this because I noticed it as well. Because I think probably what they're referencing is I think Alex said something like when as Jake was leaving on the boat and he's like, yeah, like we're not living in AC where like we're actually living out here on the island and stuff. It's so real. So yeah, I agree. Like as someone who's watched 49 seasons of the show, it is kind of like, all right, we get it. But yeah, I mean, yeah, like you said, I see people commenting or even like sometimes people that I'm talking to, it's like, oh, is that show like, is that real? Like, are they really doing that? And it's like, yeah, they are. It's real. It's a game.
It falls under game show rules. While the show is edited to tell you what they want to tell you, the actual game they're playing falls under game show rules, and therefore everything has to be fair. Like everything has to be fair. Like the fact that we found out tonight that they have a book. So I knew before the season started that they would get like a safety debrief and like told, hey, here's what to avoid. Here's what you can eat. Here's what you can't. I didn't know while on their tribe on the island, they still got that. Did you know that, Rebekah?
No, I didn't either. That was a surprise to me.
But it does make sense because like, okay, you told me this stuff before the game begins. Am I going to remember that on day 20? Like you told me that back when I was,
right.
I hadn't even started yet. I'm just so hyped up and jittery about going on the show. Am I going to remember that the yellow or the white and black snake is the one that's going to be the venomous? I'm not going to remember.
Well, and especially at this point, if you're on the blue tribe, you're 5 days in with no food. You're kind of hungry and like you find some, fruit or something and you're like, I don't remember if I could eat this or not, but I'm really hungry. So like, I'm going to go for it. So yeah, it makes sense that they have this, but I didn't know that was the thing until now.
I gotta say, I would be so bored. I'd be like, can I look at the venomous snake book again?
Honestly, yeah. It's funny, like probably the first thing I thought was, oh, I didn't know they had that. The second thing I thought was, could someone use this to like make something somehow? Like,
what do you mean?
Could someone like, I don't know, take a page out of it?
No. I'm 99% sure this is, you look at it.
It like stays with a producer.
With like a producer, yeah. You're not like sitting in the camp with the other people looking at the book.
Sure.
No, I'm saying I'd be so bored.
Oh, how do we make a fake idol out of this? That was my second thought.
No, I'm pretty sure this is something you would look at with a producer or something like that.
Yeah.
And the only reason they let him show it is because it was a confessional and like it was designed to give you more of a peek behind the curtain, which I do like the peek behind the curtain because I don't think in any of the behind the scenes stuff I've ever listened to or watched, if somebody's mentioned it, it just went in one ear and out the other. So seeing it, visualizing it, now it's in my head. Okay, cool. Like I know that they like ladies have stuff for their periods there. I know that's something I've heard before multiple times. So like they definitely have some stuff like that, but they are starving. They're out there really losing weight. I remember when Tina Wesson played on Blood versus Water and she's like, I'm down to 100 pounds. Last time was when I played season 2. And it's like, this is real. Like they're really out there, really starving. They're really playing this game. Like, okay, nobody's really going to die. Obviously we're not like in the Alaskan wilderness. It's not that kind of show, but they're definitely out there starving. That's real. And they're really living on the island.
I agree. Cause I liked the peek behind the curtain. I think a lot of it felt to me like they were trying to like reassure the viewers that like the players are safe, like that they do have all the safety measures in place that they need to and stuff, which, again, like especially because they're trying to encourage people to apply for the show and stuff. So I understand why they're doing that. And yeah, I'm on board. It seemed like almost a little over the top to me at times, but like I do understand why they're really trying to emphasize like, this has never happened before. We don't know anyone who knows anyone who this has happened to before.
It's
like,
just so rare.
Everyone here is safe. Like, here's the safety measures. Here's the binder, like all of that. So yeah, it made sense why they showed all of it. And yeah, I like the peek behind the curtain.
And of course, yellow and red have the luxury of sitting out half their tribe. So even if somebody was nervous about it, they could just sit out. Except for Christina, apparently she sat out last week. That's what I remember him saying. So All right, let's move on to our final section of the podcast, our movie review. This week is a movie that I watched and I was not expecting. I don't know, like sometimes you just like you get like a movie from like the library, you watch it on streaming or whatever, and you're just like, I don't know what to expect, but I'm gonna watch it and find out. This is a movie that was it for me, and I ended up really enjoying it. It's called Mother, directed by Albert Brooks. 1996 is the year it was made. It's a comedy about a man who gets divorced, and it's like, my mother's to blame for this. He's like, my mother's to blame for my divorce. I'm going to go move back in with her and find out what she did to me. What did she do to screw me up? Like blaming his mom. Obviously, any good movie, that's not the resolution of the movie. Get real. But it was a good premise. As he goes back and moves in with his mom. He's like 40 years old. Moves back in with his mom, and she's like, "What are you doing here?" He's like, "Mom, I told you I'm doing an experiment." And she's like, "Okay, honey." And she like does not take this seriously at all. Like she just thinks he's visiting. It ends up being really funny. As she's just like living her life, and he's like, "Mom, this is serious." And she's like, "Okay." It ends up being like a pretty funny movie. I'll say it's a little bit of a slow start, but once it gets going, like Vanuatu, it's really good. Because like in the beginning, you're like, okay. But then like, yeah, once they set up the jokes, they start paying them off. It gets really funny. I ended up liking it so much. I bought the Criterion version of it. I think it's the only physical disc or only physical version you get if you want it in, on Blu-ray or 4K. But yeah, it was really good. And I couldn't find a place to stream it at so this is for us US people. Hoopla is a service I believe almost every single library in America provides. It's a streaming service that you just log in with your library card and you can watch movies on it. So if you didn't already know about that, you're welcome. Hoopla is where you can watch this movie for free with your library card, which anybody can get in America. It is free to get. For those who didn't know this, believe it or not, I've talked to people who didn't know library cards are free. I was like, holy crap. Also, I guess I should say this every week. You could also, any movie you talk about is probably at your local library. Mm-hmm. Shocker, I know.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
Libraries are like this is the modern day Blockbuster, except they're free. And by free, I mean our taxes pay for them. So really good movie, solid movie. I'm not gonna say it's for everybody, but if you heard the premise of the movie and you're like, that sounds interesting, then it's probably a movie for you. It's at least worth a one-time watch.
And just to be clear, like,
it's not Velocipaster though.
Well, nothing is as on Velocipaster's level. But this is different from the Jennifer Lawrence movie called Mother that came out a few years ago.
Correct.
That was the first thing that I thought when you said that title. So I'm glad you clarified.
And when you Google Mother, you're going to get that. That's why I said 1996. It is directed by Albert Brooks. It's 1996. It is a comedy. It is not the Jennifer Lawrence Mother movie, which is insane and totally different. And I don't
because if you go into that Jennifer Lawrence movie expecting a comedy, you are in for a rude awakening.
You're like, where's the guy gets divorced and moves in with his mom?
Why is the house on fire? What's happening?
Whoa. Yeah. No, Mother from 1996, directed by Albert Brooks. That's what you're looking for. It's very same name, but definitely a different movie. I recommend at least watching it once. It was a solid watch. And of course, library card you watch for free, or you could you just get it from your library. So all right, well, hey, I think that's all we have for this week, but I am looking forward to this potential going down to 2 tribes next week. I really am.
Yeah, this is like, I feel like we're on the cusp of greatness for this season.
Hopefully.
Like I'm so excited for next episode. I think it's going to be really good.
These first 3 episodes,
my expectations are sky high.
These first 3 episodes have been long in the tooth when it comes to. I am tired of New Era seasons where it's 3 tribes and 1 tribe keeps going over and over. It's like, could we not? This has happened too many times. It's not every season.
At least do a tribe swap or something. Yeah.
Right. We could have tribe swapped before this happened. We could have tribe swapped at the beginning of episode 3. Like we could have tribe swapped earlier.
Truly.
But we don't have time, Rebekah. If you think about this episode was wake up, Jake gets bit by a snake, medical evacuation, challenge, tribal council. It's like all one day.
Yeah, but
there's no time for a tribe swap.
If they had done a tribe swap, Jake might have been on a different beach. He might not have gotten bit.
Yeah. Who did we want to get? No, I'm not going to go there. I was going to say, who did we want to get
Wait, dial back. No, too dark, too dark.
No, I'll stop there. That's not going to be. There's no right answer to that question.
No, there's not.
Myself, I guess. I'll pick me.
There you go.
I wish I had got bit by the snake instead of Jake. All right. Well, I do think the idea of Jake's son, though, like making Jake the snake hunter and just hunting down all the venomous snakes
really
in Fiji.
Good.
Just as a revenge. Like it would probably be better as a movie. A revenge story.
Yeah.
Yeah. For his dad, who didn't actually die. It'd be a comedy at that point. His dad didn't even die. Nothing happened. He just got dry bit one time.
That would be really funny.
That'd be
and his son is like, I must exact my revenge. His dad's like, what are you doing?
For the time my dad got medically evacuated on Survivor 49 in episode 3. He was going to win if it wasn't for the snake. All right. Well, hey, that's it for this week. I'll see you all tomorrow for our winter analysis with Maston. And of course, Rebekah will be with us next week. All right. Bye.
Bye.